All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our next strategy session. I hope you all enjoyed The Illusionist or maybe some networking at the booths. But now it's time to dive back into some more amazing strategy content. And today I am joined by the wonderful Karol Gobczyński, who is the head of climate and energy at IKEA Group, driving IKEA's innovative and revolutionary climate initiatives, really weaving sustainability into the fabric of day-to-day business operations. Without further ado, Karol, I'll hand the baton over to you to share your wisdom with the group.
Thank you, Danielle, and so happy to be here with such an amazing group of people representing all walks of life. So my name is Karol, and when I was a teenager, I thought that working with energy is boring as it can get after supporting my dad, who is an electrician. And then I found myself studying the renewable energy science in Iceland, and for last over 10 years been working within IKEA ecosystems across the value chain to integrate climate and energy. And let me share a couple of slides. So here it's coming. Yeah. So, and currently I'm leading, working within the IKEA Group, a global team, and I joined over 6 years ago to develop the first IKEA science-based targets. And since then, we've been able to reduce the emissions in absolute terms by 13% and grow the business at the same time. As a business, we are part of the problem and we have responsibility to reduce emissions, and we want to be part of the solution. And when we open the social media accounts or other news outlets, we see that we are facing multiple challenges today. And like climate change, inequality, cost of living crisis. Many of these challenges are as well interlinked, as well as solutions. And that's why it's so important when we work on net zero strategy, is to look from the holistic perspective, how we can overcome these challenges at the same time. And just to give you a couple of examples, for example, energy is a big cost for the households. And by offering more affordable and energy efficient lighting solutions, we can reduce the cost for households as well as reduce emissions. The second big part of the cost for households is connected to food. And by offering plant-based food that is affordable, we can support the people to transition in affordable and convenient way. And there are more examples, but why companies should take this responsibility and why should act? First of all, because people are our customers and people want us to act. We see that 9 of 10 people are willing to take action to tackle the climate change. 70% of people are worried, and 8 out of 10 people are saying that individuals have a role to play when it comes to reducing the emissions. However, there are, of course, many barriers, and that's where people are pointing out that businesses, as well as governments, need to work on making it affordable and convenient. And we are doing this kind of research every second year, and this data is coming from 2021. We are working on new research, which will come this year, because we know we need to understand what are the people needs and be prepared to meet their needs. And first of all, we see that as a business, we need to build on these business opportunities to provide solutions which are like energy efficient solutions, increasing access to clean energy, making our business much more circular. And very often we hear that how companies should work, profit versus purpose. But when you look closer on the net zero transformation, it's like any other business challenge. The businesses need to invest to keep being relevant and meet customer needs. And as I mentioned before, with these numbers, we see that people want businesses to act and enable more sustainable and healthy living. And as an organization, we are investing within the renewable energy, within circular transformation, and I will get to more points later during my presentation. At the same time, most of us are working and spending a big part of our life at work. And we want to use this time in a way that we contribute towards the solving problems. And we see as well that the costs and revenue structures of the companies are changing very drastically. Looking in automotive sector, for example, 2 years ago, every 25th car sold was electric. Today, it's every fifth. Just imagine if the company, which is in the automotive sector, have not invested in this transition. And this is why it's good to look from the holistic value creation perspective. And this is the example from Inca Group, where we are grouping our value creation towards better planet, better lives, better company, and better homes. Because we know we cannot capture everything just through the P&L. So how to make it work and where to start with the climate strategy? First step is important to understand what is your impact across the value chain, including your supply chain, your own operations, as well as emissions which are created in people's homes. And to give you our example, so the big part of our emissions is connected to materials used to produce physical products, because we are providing physical products to the customers. Then the second big piece is connected to product use at home, which is energy used by LED bulbs, which we are offering to the customers. So if we want to reduce our footprint, we need to as well enable more energy efficient solutions for the customers. And this overview, it's very important to understand where is the biggest impact and where is the biggest contribution that business can drive to contribute to net zero. When we understand our footprint, the second step, it's about defining the targets and initiatives to reduce them. And we grouped our initiatives into 3 main ones. First, it's about enabling sustainable consumption, as well as transforming to circular business model. And today, over 9,500 IKEA products were assessed based on circular principles. And the roadmaps to enhance these circular capabilities were developed. The other part of the circular economy is that it's bringing new business opportunities and engage with the customer. And that's why we are testing and trying different services, like, for example, buyback. The second big area, it's about reducing the emissions connected to materials and food ingredients. So using the materials and food ingredients with much lower climate footprint. And here, the good example could be the plant ball or veggie ball that we are offering to our customers, because we, as a part of our food ingredients footprint, the big part is connected to meat. So we know that we need to enable affordable options for people to change the habits. And that's why we said that all our plant-based alternatives needs to be on the same price as meat options or lower. The third big area that we hear a lot when it comes to net zero transition is connected to renewable energy. And here it's about electrification to remove the fossil fuels use, investing in wind and solar, and of course, saving the energy where possible, because the cleanest and the cheapest energy is the one we never use. And Inca Group committed to invest 6.5 billion euro in renewable energy investments, to invest in wind and solar primarily, and we already deployed half of this portfolio. And the third element, when we understand our footprint, we have defined initiatives. It is about engagement and collaboration, because none of the functions within the business can do it alone. We need the collaboration, cross-functional collaboration within the organizations, as well as collaboration with external partners. And sometimes the partners that we have not been collaborating before. Like in our case, to offer zero emission deliveries, we started to collaborate with the truck manufacturers to secure that we have the relevant trucks to deliver products with zero emissions to our customers. And so these are the 3 steps that I wanted to share. Additionally, when you are working on the climate strategy, it's important not to start from zero. There are plenty of materials and resources available already today. First of all, when you are setting the climate goals, it's good to visit the Science Based Targets initiative website, when you can find standards and guidance how to set the strategy in line with science. Second part is worth to mention is connected to the pathways for your sector. So there are pathways developed for different sectors, which are available on the UN climate change website. Third part is connected to accounting greenhouse gas emissions. And here I would like to share with you the greenhouse gas protocol, where you can find how to calculate your emissions. And the final part, when you are a small or medium enterprise and it's challenging for you to do all of this work, you can find additional resources and tools which can help support you within this transition. So as I mentioned at the beginning as well, I've been supporting my dad when it comes to electricity. Today, half of his revenue is coming from installing PV panels on people's roof. And there are plenty of opportunities. But of course, we are not moving fast enough, and people who contributed the least to the climate change are suffering the most. Therefore, it's so important that governments are taking the lead when it comes to reducing emissions and putting the right policies in place, but they cannot do it alone. They need business to act. And that's why it's so important that we use our time at work to deliver the action. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karol. I found that fascinating, and I know that everyone in our audience did as well, based on the number of questions and chats and reactions you had going the whole time. So I'd love to just dive right into it with a couple of questions. And one that I wanted to start out with on my end was, you mentioned that obviously business is anything but usual these days. There are so many factors at play. And with profitability being a very high focus for every organization right now, with margins and resources stretched thin, how would you recommend people go about creating a business case for sustainability initiatives and stressing the urgency in the here and now? What metrics or what ROI can people lean on to drive those business cases?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. And I think the first step that I'm usually taking in my work as well is how to show the holistic context when decision is being taken. So the P&L which we have today will look differently in the future as well. So we know that some of these parts are difficult to put in, monetize them and show them in money value, but we can show them as well with numbers related to customer relevance, for example, or reducing the risks. And we know that within the business, we used to take decision with the level of uncertainty, but this uncertainty from one hand is bigger, but from the other hand, the net zero strategy and actions actually are making us so much more resilient when it comes to the future. For example, with energy, for us, it was, of course, investing in energy efficiency, but then we said, like, we need to change as well the energy cost into revenue. And that's why we started the investments within the renewable energy and the wind and solar. So it is about building resilience and asking yourself, like, if you will not take investment, what does it mean for me in the future when it comes to my revenues?
Amazing. And actually, I think that's a good segue as well into a very upvoted question we had from Marina here, which really talks about what you were getting at, ensuring long-term continuity of the business while minimizing environmental impact. So tell us more about that.
Let me just read the question. Yeah. So I think we are, first of all, what guides us, it's our vision, because IKEA vision is to create better everyday life for the many people. And one of the company values is connected to create lowering our impact on the planet and having positive impact on people. And these are the parts which are helping us to take the right decision and include that. And what we see as well, that the energy costs, for example, are heavily fluctuating. So what we are paying today, there will be different in the future. And the level is like how we can increase the predictability. So that's why we are investing in energy, as I mentioned, but we are as well looking from what does it mean from the circular business perspective, and where should we take the investment there to enable them to hedge our future energy material costs.
Wonderful. And another question that this actually brought to mind as you were saying, this complex decision-making process, that's been a consistent theme in the panels and keynotes today. So we've heard a lot about how to ensure the right decision makers are involved in the discussions and helping drive this. Are there any tips that you'd give on who those decision makers should be or the key folks to have in the room when it comes to sustainability and climate initiatives?
Yeah, I think it's from one hand starting from the top to secure that your management board and top executives have understanding as well, and of what is happening and what picture you see for your sector when it comes to the transition coming from net zero. So it doesn't stay only within the group's sustainability, for example, or sustainability department. And spend some time as well on education, because it is a transition for every level of the organization to secure that we have this base when it comes to taking the decision. Probably it will be quite challenging to have sustainability experts within all the decisions. So we need to embed it and provide as well, on top of the knowledge as well, the right measurements. And that's why I think the measurements development is such an important area for any environmental or social dimensions.
Perfect. And we only have time for just one more question here. I know there were a few that unfortunately we weren't able to get to, but Karol's LinkedIn details are linked here if you want to connect with him there. I think the question we should wrap up on today is the transition to renewable energy sources often involves challenges and complexities. What are some of the obstacles that IKEA has faced or continues to face in its journey towards 100% renewable energy?
I think the first part is connected to regulations that are so different within the different markets. So you need to learn them, especially when you are working as a global company, then you need to understand each market that you invest and understand the risks and what is happening within the energy market. The second one, I will bring the energy efficiency. I think in the past, when it comes to energy efficiency, we've been looking a lot which technologies to implement, but we know it's not only about technology, it's about people, and how we increase as well the upskilling, knowledge development capabilities, and within the energy part, energy efficiency part, but any business area in a way.
Thank you so much, Karol. I know, again, there was a lot of participation, lots of reactions. This was a really, really eye-opening keynote. And I am now excited to introduce our last keynote of the day. So in about 60 seconds, we'll be jumping into our final session. So make sure to join us there for Cohen Bergouts sharing his wisdom. Cohen is the Vice President of Innovation at PepsiCo and a true creative driver behind the success of big brands like Lay's, Cheetos, and Doritos. His passion is transformation, which is really evident in his strategic approach to developing groundbreaking products and business models. So stay tuned and jump over to our next session so we can hear about innovation from Cohen. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.